There is a big Leafs trade coming with recent reports linking them to a pair of defensemen that could be key for their playoff push, and we'll break it all down for you coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. But before we get into it, just want to say if you're one of the thousands of people watching this video that aren't subscribed, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. We're on the road for 3,000 subs and really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed already, to go down below and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, let's go right into the first topic of the video today, which is the Leafs linked to multiple trades. And as we take a look here from Nick Barden of the Hockey News, he says the Leafs have inquired about defenseman Sean Walker and Alexandre Carrier. They also say here it could be a landing spot on the list for Marc-Andre Fleury if the Wild aren't in the playoff race at the trade deadline. And obviously, we have a couple of players to talk about here, and the first one we're going to talk about today is Sean Walker. And as we take a look at Sean Walker, this is a guy we've talked about on the channel before, but we're going to go through it again here. Through 55 games this season, he has 80 blocks, 72 hits, with 19 points in those 55 games. This is more of your stay-at-home type defenseman here you're getting in Sean Walker. And as we take a look at his contract right now, he is on a pretty cheap deal at 2.65 AAV. This is the last year on his deal, so he will be a UFA after the season. And Mark, this is a guy we've talked about a lot here on the channel, a potential guy that we could see traded to the Leafs, and I really do hope that the Leafs get this guy because I think he could really help bolster this Leafs blue line on the defensive end.
Yeah, the big thing with the Flyers is you seen them go out and pick up a guy like Jamie Drysdale. They say have Travis Samheim, Ristolainen, and these guys are all anchoring down the right side. So it's a bit of a logjam. So I'm definitely seeing and hearing a lot of people say that they are interested in moving on from one of these right-handed defensemen just to get some picks in, maybe a prospect, just to help with a quick retool. I mean, they're a team fighting for a playoff spot right now, but it's still nice to bring in assets when you're not fully committed on making the Stanley Cup Finals. Obviously, every team is going to be. But Sean Walker is an interesting guy. He can come in at a cheap cap hit, especially if this is a trade deadline deal where the cap hit is only so much of whatever the season's left. So the Leafs won't have to move out a lot. This is a guy I could see resign with Toronto as well. He's a guy that's played some power play for Philly. He's played a decent bit of penalty kill. I'm pretty sure at one point in the season he had 2 or 3 shorthanded goals. So this guy still produces offense at all ends. And I think he's the perfect fit for this maybe third pairing for the Leafs if you're not feeling too comfortable of not having a lot of defensemen. Now with a guy like Timmins out for an unseeable future with mono. So maybe this guy comes in as a third pairing defenseman, a seventh defenseman, just to give Giordano some breaks from here and there. I think he'd be a perfect fit on the Leafs.
Yeah, I think this guy's a Swiss Army knife type of defenseman. He's going to do it all for you. He's going to put a few points up on the board, and he's also going to lock it down in his own defensive end, whether it's with a big hit or with a couple of big blocks in front of the net. I mean, like you said, this guy can do everything. He's played power play. He's played penalty kill. So, if he comes to Toronto, Sheldon Keefe can kind of plug and play this guy into their system, see where he fits. Does he fit on the penalty kill? Does he fit potentially on the second power play unit? Stuff like this, and see where it goes from there. But I'm really excited about this, that they've inquired about Sean Walker, because I think this guy's a great defenseman, and it's someone, like you said, who could lock up this third pairing. And as we take a look at their pairings right now, you could see him slot in here on this third pairing, with William Lagesson, Mark Giordano, one of these guys here. Or you could see him maybe make a jump up to that second line if he comes in and starts playing great hockey here in Toronto. And like you said, Mark, I think this would be a great fit for Toronto. And I don't think you have to give up much to get this guy in.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think Treliving's really looking at these defensemen. He seems very content with the team right now. Am I fully content? Maybe not. I do like the thought of bringing in maybe a couple more pieces for a deep playoff run. But bringing in a guy like Sean Walker, if he's a cheaper option than a guy like Chirs Tanev, Noah Hannafin, and them, if any of these guys are going to be pure rentals, I don't want to spend too much. Obviously, if a guy like Chirs Tanev's the exact price of Sean Walker, I'd rather go the route of Chirs Tanev. But it's going to be quite interesting to see what the Leafs really do. And I think Sean Walker would be an excellent fit, and especially for a guy only being 27 or 28, I believe he is. He's the perfect type of guy you could bring in and extend for 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, and like we've seen come out, they don't really want to trade none of their prospects away. They want to keep, guys like Minton, guys like Cowan for the future. So maybe you take a look at Sean Walker here, who you can get probably for a later round draft pick. I know they don't have any seconds, but maybe if they throw a third in here with another player to even out the salary cap, they could bring this guy in. And I really do think it's going to be an option that we do see the Leafs go after here come trade deadline. But the next player we're going to talk about could be an even cheaper option than Sean Walker, and that is Alexandre Carrier. And as we take a look at him, he's from Nashville on the Predators this season through 49 games, has 15 points, 99 blocks, pretty high block shot total for him there, with 47 hits as well. I mean, this guy's kind of a your typical stay-at-home defenseman as well, and can also put a few points up on the board for you. And his cap hit right now a little bit cheaper than Sean Walker at 2.5 mil AAV on a one-year deal. This is a guy that you could bring in here, same as Sean Walker. Maybe you see him, if he's a great fit here in Toronto, could get an extension through next season. And I think if I'm the Leafs right now, I think this is their best option. I know a lot of people might not know who Alexandre Carrier is. I know he's on Nashville, but this guy could come in, slot in on that third line. He's a great penalty killer, can distribute the puck up the ice with ease, and I think this guy could be a really sneaky pickup for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I definitely can see him being the cheaper option. If you can snag a guy like this for a fourth and maybe a B or C level prospect, maybe a third, as long as you're not paying as much as I said, like a guy like Tanev, Noah Hannafin, obviously you would go for one of these guys if the price is that. So I think that's why we're seeing Treliving just kind of calling around, gauging on prices. I can't see the Leafs making any big splashes until maybe 3 to 4 days before a deadline, or on deadline day itself when a team's really panicking. They have a player, they want to get him off the roster. But I think it could be really good on this Leafs team. Obviously, like you said, he's a third pairing defenseman. He's a guy you can kind of plug in a pinch if you need to move him up in the lineup. I know Sheldon Keefe loves playing guys that aren't top pairing defenseman with Morgan Rielly. I mean, Luke Shen was phenomenal last year. We've seen it happen with Ilya Lyubushkin as well. So maybe you can bring in a guy, Rielly plays with him, kind of even out the lines a bit of just a tiny bit. And Rielly really helps elevate guys like this as well. I know they're not the biggest defensemen. I believe both of them are 5'11", but I do think they show a lot of value, especially on the third pairing, maybe a bit of penalty kill time, and in a pinch, maybe the power play.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. Like, these are both kind of similar type defensemen. They play the same way. They're going to block the shots. They're going to lay the body, and they can also pass the puck, distribute the puck with ease, and get a few assists on the board as well. And like I said, if something happens trade deadline and the Leafs can't get their number one target here in Chirs Tanev or Noah Hannafin, maybe we see them drop back onto these guys like Sean Walker and Alexandre Carrier that are great two-way type defensemen that they could use for a deep Stanley Cup run. And I think these are great options for the Toronto Maple Leafs to definitely look at if they can't get their number one guys.
Yeah, because the big thing is you look at the Leafs as a whole, the playoffs are rough. It's hard to play in. It's hard to play every game without playing injured. Right now with Timmins out, I believe they're just down to guys like Lagesson as a seventh defenseman. That's not knocking Lagesson. I think he's been great in his time with the Leafs. He's shown flashes, and he's shown sometimes that he isn't experienced. So bringing in a guy with more NHL experience, someone that knows how to play and knows how rough it is to play in the playoffs, I think it's better off to bring in a guy like that if you need an extra defenseman. Obviously, Giordano's getting up to his age, 70 season? So maybe bringing in a guy that's a little younger just to take a little pressure off him, giving him breaks throughout the year. As long as you're not breaking the bank to get him, I think either guy is the perfect fit.
Yeah, definitely. And both these guys are right-handed shots, something that the Leafs do need. So I think these are some great options here. We want to hear from you guys down in the comment section. What do you think about the Leafs potentially trading for either one of these guys? Do you think that would they fit into the Leafs system? Let us know down below in the comment section. We're going to get in everybody's favorite topic here, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Jordan. He says, what's the accent? Cape Breton, Newfoundland? And it's not Cape Breton, buddy. We're from Newfoundland. We're from the Rock. Shout out to you for supporting our channel and leaving a comment on the video. Really appreciate it. And, we're both Newfies. We're born and bred. We love seeing you guys. Try to guess where we're from. A lot of people say Cape Cape Breton. I don't know if the accents are similar or not. Never really met anybody from there, but I think that's pretty interesting. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road for 3,000 subs and really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed already, go down below and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy the NHL, make sure to check out this video. It's popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I'm your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.